what we're going to do is a start to finish rural tap splice. And we are back at the box that I cut the fiber yesterday, but it's all right. Got a plan. So this is our first splitter coming out of the OLT. So what that means is I should have roughly a plus a 5 at 1490. And we're going to be using a 95%, I'll take that out of my mouth, 95% splitter. It's a unbalanced splitter. That FS did not used to sell, and we asked for it if it was possible. And 4 months later, they contacted us and said, hey, we made your splitters. Pretty cool. So, according to the spec sheet here, well, it's got 1310 and 1550, so you kind of can come to the conclusion in between. The 95% port is going to have 1.72 dB of loss, while every other port is going to have 22 dB of loss. So that should put my first customer, the insurance company, at a -17, and it's going to send, I'll have a -3 when we go to the next box. And at the next box, I'll probably put a 95 there as well. So let's go ahead, we got that out of the way. Now this is not the correct splitter. I ordered it from them. You have to get 10 at a time, and I don't know what went wrong in the ordering process, to be honest, but it is loose tube, and that sometimes can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to splice, because the outside jacket of this, it's not actually attached to the fiber. So when you put it in the splicer, it moves. It can be pretty, we can get into this. What I'm gonna do is start our splicer. This will be the second splice of the day. I don't have to worry about anything with that. I'm gonna need some tubes. Because this is the GPON, I'm going to be using these. I ordered wrong, and they're a little bit too big for this tray. But because this will never have 24 splices, it'll be just fine. So, usually what I'll do is pop one of these. I really don't know what best, I'm gonna turn the splicer off. The absolute best way is here, but this is what I've been doing, is just popping that right out. I always put my tails down, and then ultimately we're just going to zip tie this right in there. It works pretty good. So there's that. And I will probably just go ahead and cut these right here. This guy. Oh, I need to get some new ones of these because they're busted. Cool. So I like this one because it worked out perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this out. And I'm going to go ahead, get that green. Come on. Okay. So I got my green. And I'll show you a trick here. Basically, I'm going to be cutting her. And I just want to know for damn sure which one's the right one. And I'll show you a quick little easy trick. Sometimes you can just stick it in the meter. Sometimes you can't, and you gotta just throw a cleave on it right quick. So that's telling me -20, -40, -32. So clearly there's no customer devices on this, but what you'll see is now it's -50, -44. So definitely we want the one that is got power on it, and it is the one on the right. So just to double check. Go ahead, we'll throw a tube on it. So my buddy in Canada was reaching out about some fiber stuff, and I think what right here is probably exactly what you were running into. Jason, I think. So what we'll do is just paper towel, rubbing alcohol, and this is the loose tube. So on your stripper, there's 3 different sizes. The third size is for ONFR, I think is what it's called, the yellow jacketed fiber. I don't have any laying around, but the second notch is going to be for a loose tube situation, just like what we're experiencing here. So I'm going to have to strip this longer than you normally would. So I'm going to go about a full inch, maybe a little bit more. Now we've got it's still got the cladding on it. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove that cladding using the smallest stripper notch. And I'll show you why I'm doing this long here in one moment. So go ahead and clean that guy up. Put it in my cleaver. Now I'm cleaving this long, and you have to, unfortunately, with this. I find the faster you push that cleaver on this particular one, the more success you have. I don't know, or it's just habit. All right. So we'll throw this guy in here. Now, it's long because what I found is there's a notch here. It means nothing, but as long as you're roughly around that notch right there, it will bite enough on that. So when it goes back and forth, it will actually move. So now we'll take our fiber with the power on it. We're gonna go ahead, strip that just once, because this is just colored cladding, whereas that was just clear, just like the other splitters. It's clear. There we have that, and that. And I have a video where I talked about this part. That's going to put the fibers together. It's going to burn them. I'm not sure if you can actually see that or not. and it's giving me an error. And the reason it's giving me that error today is going to just be a day full of phone calls. All right, well, right where we were. Apparently I don't know, something broke in our system and we stopped billing this one customer. They haven't been billed for 2 months, but it was because their contract expired. It was just a weird thing. Like they should have just gone into regular billing. Whatever. Okay, so where were we? I'm just gonna close the splicer again. And you'll see that it's giving me an error on both. So what I'm gonna do here is, and this is all I'm gonna do, just to show you. I'm gonna pop the end about 1/8 of an inch of this and watch this. Most likely that'll work. There you go. So it really does have to be behind that line. I was a little bit past it. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, well, I got to redo it anyway. It was a little dirty from where I had stripped the jacket off. I just wanted to prove a point. I didn't have my tube on anyway. Really thought I did that step though. Yeah, I guess not. All right, so go ahead, throw this in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and strip this. And we'll get a first shot this time. Cool. The new splitters I got they're not this style. They're the right style. So we're going to go about 1.5 inches this time. That should be good. Oop. Got a little cleave happy. Got a little cleave happy. Right on the line that time. I feel like that is what I've done in the past. Yep. You see what I'm saying, where it's can be a little obnoxious sometimes. There you go. You feel the burn. I think that was Bernie Sanders' slogan. Splice number 1 So now what we'll do is, on our splitter, port number 1 is our 95%. So we're gonna go blue right on back to this green. So set this guy off to the side. Ooh, she's hot. Nice. So something along the lines of that. Right there. Oh, that's gonna drive me crazy, isn't it? Whatever. Whew. It's supposed to be 79 degrees today. It is crazy. All right. Yep, that's gonna drive me crazy. I'm just gonna roll it a little bit. Perfect. So let's get our blue. Oh, that's the small style. Damn, I might be breaking a sweat today. I would have never thought I should have brought my tent. I think I'll position this next one so I can be in some shade. So now we're going blue to green. And since there's no customer here, that's all we're doing. Just a little short. All right, so now we should have a -3 at our next box. And what I like to do is I can either splice a pigtail on, or sometimes what I'll do is I'll splice the splitter on, and then I can just plug my meter into that. We'll probably do that at the next one. So that is a rural tap GPON. I think it's got some other names, but that's what I like calling it because I can't pronounce rural. But pretty much it allows you to just utilize one fiber, but pass, like if this was an apartment complex, I wouldn't, this would be silly, you know, because from where I'm sitting, I can see literally one house, okay? There's I don't know what's back there. Actually, they're already a customer, and they are fed out of the box on the other end of the street. This is the middle school's track and field right here to the left of me, and the highway is that direction, like 50 feet that direction. So putting in a 4-tap here, we got a potential for a few customers, but it's highly unlikely. But for the sake of not wasting, the other problem is because there's no customer here to hook up yet, but if I didn't do this now, I would be disconnecting all those customers down the line. Also, I wouldn't have my math right. I would be kind of guessing and hoping that the modem or the ONUs were fine. I don't know what's about to happen, but I think there's a helicopter about to land on top of me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I wasn't actually that inaccurate there. So this one is going to go like that. Hey, how you like them apples? So the customers will be -17. The next one they'll be -19. But there is some pretty significant margin for error in there because every spec is exaggerated. Like from what I've seen, they're pretty much always better than what the spec sheet says. Same thing with the other, with the far end is the optic. Everything, the margin for error is pretty epic. So like even though I'm saying -17, I bet you it's more like -16, maybe -16.5. Why is that one longer than the others? There we go. All right. And it is loose tube, and these extras I am just going to leave out. I don't really need to be inside. That way I can come back and I know exactly what's going on here. No shenanigans. So that was that. I mean, that pretty straightforward. But you can see why, though, I like building the cases and then coming back and doing this, because it's like a different set of tools and it's like a different mindset that you kind of need to be prepared for. It kind of doesn't really matter if you're dirty building the cases, but you kind of want your hands clean and your table clean. And I always screw these to the table when I'm splicing, and sometimes when I'm building the case, but always when I'm splicing. That way I can get up and take a phone call. Trash truck. So there you have it. Put our gasket back on, and I'm curious to see the length of that because I feel like it was pretty quick. So now I'm going about a mile, half mile away to the next location. And we'll do it again.